next to me, making love to his tonic and
ginger ale.
And who could forget this classic?
wasting away again. And
Mountain Dew.
So enjoy National Sober Day and listen responsibly.
Cappuccino.
National Sober Day. Our own Mary Santora has been a teetotaler now for how long? How far into your sobriety are you? One day at a time.
3.5 years. Would you like to give me 1 second?
Yeah, because I know you keep exact change on
an
this.
Exact day count here as soon as my app loads.
Do you have like a period tracker, but for sobriety?
Yeah, it's just an app that just tracks the days.
The Flow Juggler?
Yes. 1,291 days without a drink.
Very good.
Thank you.
I'm the only one clapping for. There we go. Hey. Congratulations. I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
Yeah.
With grace and aplomb.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Sure.
Does it get better?
Yes.
It does, okay.
Yes, it gets much, much, much easier. The first year or two, the first few months are like hell. And then, I sound so cliche, but these cliches exist for a reason where it really does get easier every day. There's still days that you'll have like a temptation or whatever, but.
Because it seems that there are some people who many years into their sobriety will be like, every day. Just got to find one more.
Yeah. Well,
so results probably vary a little bit.
Yeah, it just depends on what you were using it for and how deep into it you were. And like for some people, that was their entire life was just drinking. Didn't have a job, woke up, drank away all their problems till they passed out and started again the next day, you know. But there's people who, like, if they don't go to 2 or 3 meetings a day, they'll fall off the wagon, you know. So it's all varying degrees, but it does get better.
Do you look down on those people like, those losers?
No.
What a bunch of pussies.
Yeah, like I was a bad drunk, but I'm not a loser like this person.
Not driving a riding mower through a Hardee's.
No. But yeah, it gets easier.
So you don't count the accidental drink?
No.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do it on purpose.
I don't think you should either.
No, you didn't like willingly go order a drink and do a shot or whatever.
What did it sound like when Dustin accidentally had a drink?
Oh, God, Dustin called us because
he's
did,
like 9
didn't he?
years sober.
Yeah, he's a long, long time sober, and he was all bummed out.
I took a big old swaller out of it, and I was like, uh-oh.
I'm going to do Sober October.
Are you?
Take a month off. And
our trainer told me that this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we were working out, he said I convinced Bill to do a Sober October.
Oh, your trainer convinced you to do it.
He didn't convince me.
You probably didn't need to be
I
convinced.
brought it up.
He made it
I was going to
sound like
say
he convinced you to do it.
Oh, it's stolen valor.
No, he goes, when do you want to get, serious about like a stricter diet? And I was like, what about Sober October? And he's like, I'll do it with you. And it's like, cool.
Are you drinking that much that it's going to make a difference?
The
answer's no.
Not really, but I think it's definitely going to, it's still not a bad thing to do.
No, not at all.
Take a month off.
Now, why is that, though? You don't drink that much.
That's what I mean.
But I think when I do drink, it's one of those things that will derail whatever diet I am trying to maintain.
Oh, I see.
So, like, if I, have drinks on the weekend, then I go, oh, but now I want pizza.
Why don't you do Sober October from carbs?
That's a lot.
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
So he's going to do it. So, I'll be busy celebrating Rocktober, Bill. I'm in the middle of September, and I'll be continuing by celebrating Rocktober. But I don't drink that much either.
Right.
I'll tell you when I'm going to get hammered. We got good news today.
Uh-oh.
If all goes well. We all got the email.
Oh, yeah, we all get it.
Well,
we're not announcing.
Not really announcing anything other than to say that it looks like we're going to be doing the Polar Blast in 2023.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Undefeated.
I have mostly been clamoring to bring back the Polar Blast just so one of our 3 other teams can beat Mary.
Because I'm the only person on the team on the show who's undefeated.
She is undefeated. Yes. The asterisk there is that she's competed 1 time.
Doesn't matter.
But a win is a win.
Clean record.
It took me 7 years to win the Polar Blast.
It's just not
and I had a hell of a team to do it, but we got some information today that they want to bring the Polar Blast back to Boston Mills Brandy Wine. So, again, we're in the beginning stages of this. We're figuring out if we can do it, how we can do it, but if everything goes according to plan, that'll happen in February of 2023. And that'll
Love
be a
that.
lot of fun. Because this year, again, another year went by where we didn't really get to do stuff. Didn't
Right.
do the Corona cruise, didn't do bar crawls because people are still a little nervous about stuff.
Staffing.
Staffing. And I mean, you got to staff up when an ACS event comes
Oh,
through.
God. You can't get away with one bartender for these
No, come on. Say what, Cody?
I said, it's just not fair.
things? What?
What's not fair?
That I'm so good. That I'm just skilled.
I had a very productive team. Our team did well. And
You're
it came
slow.
down-
I beat you in a foot race, bro.
I was not slow.
You didn't
cheated.
win.
You
How
cheated.
did I cheat? I fell over the finish line. If anything, you had
Exactly.
an
You
advantage because I tripped.
Exactly.
I did not
You had an
cheat.
advantage because you tripped.
Falling down is an advantage in a foot race?
If you're elongating your body to where you could cross the finish line,
Dude,
yes.
you're like 7 inches taller than me.
But I didn't fall.
Are you blaming her for elongating her body?
He's
Yes.
just slow. It's not my fault you're not fast.
We wouldn't have to do a sudden death if we could just.
First of all, none of us are to blame, and none of us can take credit for when we win the Polar Blast. It is entirely up to chance.
Depends on who's on your team, really.
Well,
Who gets put on your team?
but not even that. It's a confluence of it's not like you can pick people who are great at tubing, right?
Heavier people go faster.
When we do foot golf, well, okay, there's a modicum of physics involved, but it's nothing that you can't build that out
Right.
into a team that's going to take you to the championship. When we were doing foot golf, there's a much higher level of potential skill there from people who know, But Polar Blast, it's just a good time, just fun. Granted, it's usually sub-zero temperatures, but who cares? So if all goes well, we'll be doing that next year.
Start looking for some boots.
Yeah, get the ones with like the little spikes in the bottom.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Cody,
find
just-
some
He's not
there.
climbing Everest. I mean, you don't want to pop your tube with
Maybe we
spike
should
boots.
get the.
Winterized pair of Jordans is more what I was thinking.
Oh, I was thinking we should all put the tennis rackets on our feet, and then maybe that'll make you faster, Cody.
I don't think so.
Listen, dude, don't get mad at me because you're not athletic. That's got nothing to do with me.
Listen, the very first year we did the Polar Blast, I wore Chuck Taylors.
You dummy.
And, well, I'd never done that before.
You've never
I
been
didn't-
outside when it's cold?
I had never gone tubing before.
You didn't notice, oh, it's 8 degrees today. Maybe I should wear something that isn't canvas.
It wasn't 8 degrees.
How much was it?
It was 9 degrees. No, I don't
that
know
was
what
a really
it was,
cold
but-
year.
Yeah, it was a really cold year, and yes, I prepared improperly, sure. But you know what I always say, and Bill agrees with me 100%. It's better to look good than to feel good.
I
That
disagree.
is
it's
not
way-
what I agree
It's
with.
way better to be rocking some Chucks than big, clunky North Face boots, which I learned, and I've worn every subsequent year because that's just the smart play. But I was standing there all night in front of that bonfire trying to toast my Tootsies.
Because that was before they had the big renovated lodge down there. So there really wasn't anywhere to stay inside
Oh,
to
God.
warm up. Yeah.
See, I disagree with the look good then to feel good when it becomes a matter of chilliness. If I'm cold, I don't care what I look like. I'll wear 9 hoodies, 2 pairs of sweatpants. I don't care, a blanket.
9 hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like being cold, man.
gotcha.
That's news to us.
You guys have never heard me complain about being cold?
No, I haven't. I've heard you gently mention on occasion that the temperature is lower than you would prefer.
Have you been more comfortable since we've been here?
It has been better.
Yeah, because it's 72 degrees in here all
yeah,
the time
it's not
now.
bad. It was
Ugh.
like 66 the other day. It was pretty cold. But I didn't even go put on I haven't brought my blanket into the studio yet. I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
I have.
I have gotten 0 accolades for it.
Because why would you? It's 72 degrees in here.
Because I wanted to the other day when it was like 66 or 67 in here. I was like, man, my blanket is in the trunk of my car. And I was like, you know what stopped me? 3 flights of stairs. That's what stopped me from going and getting my blanket.
I think it was a couple of degrees higher than 67, though, Bill, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably like 69.
Oh, boy. Listen, happy sober National Sober
Thank
Day.
you.
But there's still great news in the state of Ohio for people who like to drink.
There's always news for people.
The 4-3 ruling, the Supreme Court of Ohio has determined that you can't be found guilty of driving if you got your license suspended because of an OVI, you can't be found guilty of driving on a suspended license as long as you're not moving the vehicle.
Oh, dude, my
What?
cousin
I
got
don't
a DUI
understand
this
this.
way. No, my
I'll
cousin.
explain it to you. I know a lot of people did.
He was parked in the driveway of his house. And
This is why this went all the way to the Ohio Supreme Court,
Yeah.
because people were getting pinched on this. There was a woman out in Hamilton County who was convicted of an OVI after she was thrown out of her friend's house because she was probably an insufferable drunk. And they found her later by the cops sleeping in her car with the engine running.
Mhm.
And they gave her an OVI. And she sued. And it went all the way to Supreme Court. She got 3 days in jail, had to pay $250. And the Supreme Court of Ohio says if the vehicle is not moving, you can't be found guilty. The
Yeah.
vehicle is.
Yeah.
So for you guys who get DUIs, you guys who get a lot of DUIs, and so there's a descending hierarchy of vehicles that you find yourself on. Anytime I see a grown man on a bike, I go, drunk driver. That may be unfair. That's just what I assume. But you'll see guys, you can famously get an OVI on a riding lawnmower. If you're hammered and you're swaying, but that thing's in park,
doesn't matter.
it's a brave new world
there
for
are
you,
some
Homber.
people-
OVIs just became a very dangerous game of red light, green light.
Right.
That's right. Musical cars.
Yeah.
But I agree, though. Like, some people, rather than driving, they're like, all right, I'm in the parking lot of this place, of this bar.
I'm gonna sleep it
I'm
off.
just going to sleep. And then, at 6 a.m., I'll set my alarm. I will drive home in the morning. I would much rather someone do that than get in a car and be like, well, there's no Ubers available. My phone's almost dead. Like, I'm just going to take the risk and drive home.
I
I
wonder.
I lived my life like that.
I
for
wonder,
2
though,
years.
I'm a guy that sleeps in the bushes when he doesn't
I
feel like he
sleep
should
in
be
my
driving.
car all the time.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, if somebody's going to find a loophole here, given this decision from the Ohio Supreme Court, to just start sentencing people to VIs.
I don't think so.
I mean, if they've redefined operating, they're going to go, whoop, you're not operating, you're not getting an OVI. You're getting a VI. You're getting a
Public
Roman numeral
intoxication.
6.
Does the public start when you're outside of your car, or if you doing something inside of your car count as being in public? Because it could be in public intoxication.
Maybe.
But it's
don't know.
private property.
Not necessarily if you're in a parking lot of a private business. Oh, I
Well,
guess
but
so.
Mary's
Or
talking
you're
about
parked
her
on the
friend who
street.
was in his driveway,
Right. I can't believe they can come up to like in your driveway.
Passed out in the car. Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
Or you know what? I think
That-
they followed him.
I
I
was
think
gonna
they
say-
followed him out of like a bar.
I
and
was
then
going to say,
home.
I've heard of people that happening in their driveway, but I think it's very, very rare. And I don't think anything like that would hold up
Yeah.
That
if
was
you
the-
took it to
I think
court.
they followed him home. Yeah.
That was the thing in college. Like all the underage guys that we like when we were underage drinking at like 2019. They would always like bring their beer, and if they saw a cop, they would hurry up and run to our porch because they're like, once I'm on private property, they can't arrest me. And we learned very quickly that wasn't necessarily true. One guy followed.
You mean your drunk college friends weren't lawyers?
But we did think it was true though. Like the guy stepped 1 foot.
Trying
on
to
our
get me,
porch.
copper, and then they come over and slap the braces on you. Yeah, I gotcha.
He had like a 6-pack of beer, and he stepped 1 foot. He got 1 foot on our step, on our stoop. And the cop was like, "Hey, let me see you for a second." I was like, "Don't go! He can't get you." It was almost like we had like a salt ring around us. Like, can't arrest me. I'm on a porch.
A salt ring.
We did.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that cop isn't a Wiccan, or he's coming right inside this salt ring.
Those were UAPD cops. They were cute.
Alan, I parked behind a bar in February and got an OVI for sleeping in my car instead of driving home while it was running. Why leave your car running? That means
Because you're cold or hot.
Oh.
If it's January and it's 10
AC.
degrees outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because your options are drive this car home, crash, kill myself or someone else, or freeze in my car.
That's why you have like a bug out bag. My mom always told me to get one just in case.
I have one in my trunk.
I always have a blanket in my
I have some beef. I have some jerky. Got some waters, which would do nothing if it freezes, but still.
Well, no, put some Cliff Bars in there. And I mean, all you need is a couple of blankets. And,
Got some rice cakes.
I mean, you should have some kind of first aid situation in your trunk.
Got some sweaters. I got my Kevin Love sweater, matter of fact. But I'm too
Yeah.
fat to fit it right now.
But what
so-
if you were to get hurt? You don't have like a first aid kit in your trunk?
No.
Well, you should
No.
get one of those.
If I'm hurt, how am I going to do it?
What do you mean? I'm not saying if you're
Thinking of a cut or
destroyed.
something.
Yeah, I mean,
If I'm destroyed.
like
trying to
Mangled.
trying to destroy me, Alan. I'm destroyed. Don't fire me, Alan. I'll be destroyed.
He's obliterated.
I'm destroyed every day when I come home.
Yeah. What happened to Poundcake? He got destroyed in his car.
I love that idea. I just
That
destroyed
actually sounds like he had the best birthday. He's like, oh, I got destroyed this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're destroyed.
Mm-hmm. Alan, what they're going to give you is physical control of a vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. My son got one when he was 20. I don't know. I mean, again, this Supreme Court ruling might change a lot of those kinds of things if they've redefined operating, if whatever you're sitting in. But yeah, I mean, it's all for profit, so I figure they're going to find a way around it. But who knows? But again, those of you who have 9 OVIs, and again, I don't know how people end up with that many and are still behind the wheel of a car, but I guess it's just a matter of it's not a problem unless you get caught.
Just cost you money, man.
Costs you a lot of money
Friend of
that
mine
you
had
probably don't
3.
have.
You got to go to jail. It's either it's like 3 weeks of house arrest or a full week in jail, something like that. There's like a trade-off you can do based on, if you got kids or whatever your job is.
Yeah.
But it's like a fee you have to pay. You got to go to that DUI class. You got to get the party plates. Like each time you get one. I don't know when.
Do they still do the party plates?
I think they
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's
I'm
people that have like 7 and they still have those.
Right.
They're virtually ineffective because shame does not work for certain people. They're like, yeah, that's why they call them party plates.
Well, it's not about shame. It's about telegraphing to law enforcement that you're
And other people.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like,
I
hey,
think-
you see this guy swerving, he's
give
probably
this guy a wide
hammered.
berth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a part of shame.
And
too.
there's those people that, they get an OVI and then they spend the money and their girlfriend ends up with that dweeb Nathan. What was that commercial he used to
Yeah.
run?
Now she's dating that guy Nathan, because
yeah.
I
That
couldn't get
creep,
my
I think
Yeah,
he
that
said.
creep
Nathan.
Nathan.
Yeah. The guy's by his logic, the guy's a creep because he doesn't drink and drive.
Mhm.
Yeah. This guy can handle his liquor
Ugh, how
and takes an
boring.
Uber home.
Ugh.
What a dork.
My logic for drinking and driving, and again, this is going to be one of those things people are like, do you hear me bragging about drinking and driving? No. I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm not proud of them, but my drunk logic was always that I didn't have the money for the Uber or that I would be fine because it was only a mile away. But it was just because it's drunk logic, I would have spent like $300 on a bar tab,
How
but
would
I can't
people
pay $12 for an Uber.
How would people read that as a brag? Why would people give you a hard time for
Because
that?
they
People give
wanna
me a hard
complain.
time for everything.
Yeah, they do.
Right, but
When I
not
said-
not as a brag.
When I said I put my phone in my purse in the back seat because if it's not, I'll use it. People are like, did you hear me bragging about?
How is that a brag?
People don't like me, so they take everything I say as like, she
Right,
thinks
but
she's cute.
there's ways to legitimately critique someone you don't like.
Right.
Yeah, but that's not what people do.
Yeah, there's
That's not-
a
Well,
logic
that's what
here.
they should
Yeah.
do. You should read
every-
my emails. Everyone I get cuts me to the bone.
Right.
They're really using some critical thinking.
No, everyone's like, yeah, you're not a real comedian. You're not a real dad. Your kid's not a real blah, blah. It just, there's no actual constructive criticism. It's just anger. And
I posted a joke that
get
said
it.
like a friend of mine was like, you should have kids. You'd be such a good mom. And I'm like, I crashed 6 cars while I was drunk. Like, what about me says I would be a good mom? And like the comments are all like, is she really bragging about this? Does she really think it's cute? Oh, that's hilarious that you drove.
well,
I'm like,
I don't read
The
that
whole-
as a brag.
the whole point is me saying I'm not
It's
responsible enough for a
self-deprecating.
kid.
Right.
Like,
I have a bit that has a lot of views, and it's just about my daughter getting her first job, and it's a obviously silly, made-up situation. But the way the comments, people are just like, "Why would you ever speak to your child that way?" I'm like, it's not.
Guys, it's a joke. I'm up here telling jokes.
I'm not.
I'm not giving a
telling
TED
you a
talk.
story. I'm telling. I'm not. It's a joke. These are jokes, but people are just very. They
stupid.
reactive.
No, I
Idiots.
understand people. I understand people jumping to conclusions or whatever. The brag part, I didn't get how anybody would decipher that as a brag.
I don't know, man.
Oh, she's bragging about having her phone in the back seat.
Well, it's
No,
all-
no, no.
Yes!
She's bragging about driving and texting. Did you
But
hear
that's
how
not
she
even a
thought
brag.
it was cute that she drives and texts?
But you
Well,
never
what an
said that.
idiot.
You
No,
said,
no.
you said, I recognize that this is a problem, and I have come
Right.
up with a solution for it. And people are like,
Solution.
You were just telling the truth.
I'm honest. Did you know that about me? I'm not a good liar. Okay?
I feel like you're lying to me right now.
Ooh,
No, I'm
speaking
really
of good
not.
liars, I watched that An Honest Liar documentary.
Yeah.
Awesome.
About
Loved
the
it.
magician.
Amazing
About the
Randy. Is